And then this evening, we're going out to a Omakase Japanese restaurant to celebrate. Good morning! Happy Valentine's Day! Just kidding, it's January 31st. This is just my fiance anniversary. I got engaged a year ago. So today we're going to be celebrating our 1 year engaged anniversary, fiance-versary. Moving forward, this is essentially our Valentine's Day because Valentine's Day can always get like really crowded. Whenever you go out on Valentine's Day, there's always like a lot of people, whether it's at a restaurant or bar. It's just overbooked and crowded and can be a bit like too much. My fiance and I have decided that this is our Valentine's Day and our engagement anniversary. For me, it's a really special day. I'm engaged to like my favorite person. Very excited about that, but I'll also be taking along on my weekend staying fertile journey and kind of routine of what I do. This morning I'm drinking my hot water with lemon. I don't know if you can see that. This was hot water with freshly squeezed lemon juice. And I've also got my matcha. You can see my matcha and my hot water with lemon. I like to have a matcha on the weekends in the morning because it's kind of like a slower caffeine hit. So you still get caffeine, but it's just like a slower, more gradual alertness, which is supposedly better for your hormones, more calming and soothing. Plus it's got all of those matcha health benefits. I would highly recommend having your fiance era for as long as possible. And I'm kind of sad that mine's gonna be coming to an end in like 6 months, but also excited. So it's like a little bittersweet. But maybe you shouldn't have it for too long because then people start like questioning you. Not that it matters what people think, but you know, if people start thinking like, ooh, engaged for 7 years, that's kind of a red flag. But anyways, I would highly recommend a 1.5 to 2 year engagement period because it's just fun being a fiance. Yeah, so today's gonna be a really fun day. I need to do some work on SFAF in the morning, afternoon. I'm gonna be editing one of my videos that I filmed a little while back. It's a really exciting one. It has to do with how Israeli culture and that they are one of the only countries in the West that actually don't have a birth rate decline like every other country in the West. They're actually like above the birth rate required to, you know, sustain your population. Hopefully I will post that either today or tomorrow, probably tomorrow because I need to do all the editing for it today. Look out for that one. Well, actually, it will already have been posted after I post this vlog, most likely, because this vlog will come after that one. That one's priority number 1 right now. I also want to get some work. I have this essay that I'm working on. It was inspired because I got some hate comments on one of my previous videos. They weren't really hate comments, but these comments that I got were kind of just a different opinion. It was the opposite opinion of what I was saying in that video, which I highly encourage. I really want my channel and platform to invite all opinions and ideas and philosophies, ways of living. So I will always encourage people to have good debates and arguments on my channel. But it inspired me to write kind of a counter argument on what they are saying is completely wrong and why I'm right in my video. So I'm working on an essay about that, but I like to do a lot of like research and find good data and backed up arguments on why I believe what I believe. I want to spend a little bit of time adding to that today. I have the rough, you know, outline of it. I've got my thesis statement for it. I've got 3 body ideas written into it as well. So just want to keep working on that. Hopefully I can maybe finish that by next weekend and make a video out of it as well. So looking forward to that. And then maybe I'll try and get through 1 chapter of my fertility book that I'm reading. It starts with the egg. It's all about how to prepare your body and your eggs before you're trying to conceive. And it's a very optimistic point of view on how you actually have some control in your egg quality and the development of your eggs as a woman. So I kind of want to get through, I've read this book already, but now I'm kind of reading it in a lot more depth, taking a lot more notes and gathering the main points from each chapter to kind of take out what's the most valuable maybe for fertility and for my own journey. I'm 33 and I'm on a journey of my own fertility, and I want to make sure that I can have the healthiest baby and pregnancy and be able to conceive whenever I want, essentially, or whenever I feel like having a kid. I'm just making sure that everything I do or everything in my life and day-to-day routine is very fertility and health focused. So I want to read a little bit in this book today. I don't know how much time I'll have on top of, you know, editing the video that I already have and writing on my essay. Getting one chapter in should be possible. I think that's my staying fertile schedule for this morning. I don't usually work out on the weekends just because I'd rather spend that time working on my YouTube channel and the research I'm doing, but I'll definitely aim for 10,000 steps today. That should be a daily requirement. We can look at my sleep score because I got my Whoop membership back. It was expired in my last video, which was kind of a shock, but I can try. Oh, and the rest of the day, I think I'm gonna have a call with my friend a little bit later on, and she's meant to call me. She lives on another continent, so sometimes it's hard to coordinate times, but she's meant to call me, so I should catch up with her. And then this evening we're going out to a Omakase Japanese restaurant to celebrate, so I'm very excited. I mean, I love Japanese food, so delicious, and this place looks quite fine dining, cutesy. Omakase, like they make the food in front of you. Japanese restaurants, so I'll take you along to that later on as well, just to show you the experience. But let's look at my Whoop score. Here, yeah, so I got my Whoop membership back. Whoop is essentially this like health tracker, fitness tracker. It tracks everything from your sleep score, your menstrual cycle. It tracks your respiratory rate, your heart rate, variability. It gives you a lot of like stats and data and insights on how you're doing and what you're doing. It tracks your steps, obviously. So I got that back today. Look, I've got like some yellow. My recovery is not good. So that means that my heart rate variability is down. Resting heart rate is up. You would want to like aim for a lower resting heart rate. Right now mine is at 67, which is kind of intense. So I don't know. Sometimes looking at this gives me a little bit of like stress because I'm like, shit, am I dying or what? But no, it just gives me a little bit of stress. My sleep score, though, is really good. I got 89%. So I've got 100% of the hours that I need. I slept 8 hours, but it says I needed 7 hours and 32 minutes. So, yeah. Good sleep score. Happy with that. Yeah, that's kind of what I check in the morning. I log in, like, if I have my period or not, and then it just kind of gives me data on that. But yeah, so we're going to this Japanese restaurant that we booked a few months back. I'm very, very, very excited for that. And I'll take you along later. All right, so it's lunchtime now. So I'm going to be making, it's like breakfast lunch. I eat maybe like 2 meals a day. It's called brunch apparently, but this isn't really a typical brunch. But I eat approximately 2 meals a day and maybe like a snack or so at some point on average. And this is kind of my go-to weekend breakfast lunch. So I like to do a porridge. I do porridge based on water. I don't really add milk or anything, just water, filtered water from my lark. And then I add a bunch of toppings like grounded flax seeds. I usually like to put chia seeds, but we're completely out of those now. And then cacao nibs on top. And then a bunch of fruit. So today I have a organic banana. I have a green kiwi. I've got some strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries that are getting washed right now by my lovely fiance. And a pear that's kind of going bad. So need to eat that kind of soon. It's kind of like a quick, healthy breakfast. I really like to store my dry condiments in glass storage, glass and wooden jars, because as I've said previously, I'm extremely fertility focused and conscious, and glass is a cleaner, healthier, more natural product material for your, body and your health compared to plastic or even metal. Metal for me is a bit sus. So I like everything glass, everything wood. I don't care what you think is stupid. I am telling you what I do for my fertility. So I like everything in glass. I also think glass looks a lot prettier. So even like aesthetically, it just makes me happier to have things in glass. That is what I have for lunch, what I'm gonna have for lunch today. And I'll show you the finished product when I'm done cooking it. don't know if I said this, but I like to eat predominantly clean. So like 80 to 90% just natural, one ingredient foods. So as you can see here, I have a lot of my fruits, all the fruits that go in, just oats, and all those other things. It's all very clean eating. But yeah, here's my step-by-step of how I make my porridge. I first let my oats roast on the pan without water. Just let them sit there for a couple minutes, just like heat up and get toasted. And then I add water and some salt and cinnamon, organic cinnamon, and just let this cook for a while. I think it needs a little bit more water, so I just kind of add however much I think it needs, and like probably let that cook for like 5 minutes or so. And then before the porridge is done, I add organic peanut butter to the bottom. I like to put it in the bottom because then it kind of melts. It's already kind of like melted looking. That is my porridge step-by-step guide. Here's my final product. Like I said, I like to eat very clean, so there's a lot of fruit. Fruits are very good for fibers. For example, there is some vitamin C in there from the kiwis and the strawberries, lots of antioxidants just from the berries in general. Blueberries are amazing for that. I've topped it up with some skyr yogurt, which is like high in protein, and some cacao nibs, also good for antioxidants, and just in general, very healthy and clean breakfast, and it looks delicious. That's my kind of go-to weekend meal, always. Super easy, takes like less than 10 minutes to put together, and it's very healthy, good for your health, nothing bad in there. Most of it's organic, so you can at least hope it's as clean as you can attempt to get it. We have dinner plans at 6:45, and I got a little bit hungry, so this is the snack I'm having to benefit my fertility. Avocados. Doesn't that look great? Avocados have like super healthy fats, nutrients, and other benefits. Yeah, you can never go wrong with eating an avocado. What?
None of those are benefits.
You don't think there are health benefits to eating avocados?
I'm just criticizing how you speak.
Easier to criticize than to actually do it yourself, right? Anyways, that's my snack until, and it's now, what time is it, honey?
1:20.
1:20. Okay, so it's 2:20 and we're eating. Okay, I'm gonna have this for now. I'll probably want something else later, maybe a piece of fruit or something, but we'll see. This is my snack right now. Great. So I can be like, hi guys, welcome to my channel. Like and subscribe. Okay, this looks pretty cool. It's not bad. I feel like a pro. A profesh. Am I officially an influencer now? Can I call myself an official YouTuber? I'm ready to go out on our dates. Look at the flowers I got. Aren't they beautiful? Prettiest ones I've ever seen or received ever. They're huge. They're like bigger than me. This is my look. This has nothing to do with fertility. Well, actually getting married and starting a family and being in a loyal, committed relationship, there's probably a whole thing about fertility there. Anyways, these are my flowers. I love them so much and they are so beautiful. Happy January 31st to you. Okay, I'm ready to go out to Shiromi and celebrate our 1-year engagement.
Anniversary.
1 year of being engaged, our 1-year anniversary of being engaged. That is what we're celebrating and I'm so excited. Get a man that buys you flowers. after the experience at the Omakase restaurant, Shiromi in Berlin, I've come to realize that I don't think I love Japanese food. The experience was great though. It's always so fun with so many different dishes to try, and having the food cooked and prepared right in front of you, that's definitely an experience. Don't get me wrong, I love sushi. Sushi is my favorite food, I think. And I know that's part of the Japanese cuisine, but I think that is the only Japanese food, and I'm probably gonna regret saying this, but like for now, like I love sushi and that's what I'm gonna stick to eating when it comes to Japanese cuisine. I'm sure there's gonna be like so many things out there that I'm like, oh yeah, of course I love that, and of course I love edamame beans. But in general, I think eating an authentic, or maybe it's like the high-end Japanese experience, might not be exactly for my palate or flavor profile. We got 14 dishes and everything was plated beautifully, but most of the flavors weren't my favorite. I usually prefer a lot more like interesting and more obvious present flavors, and a lot of these dishes that we had were quite mild on like the flavor spectrum. The fresh fish dishes and anything that had yuzu in it, that was freaking incredible. Like the tuna sushi we had, oh my god, it's melted in my mouth. It was like a buttery piece of tuna sashimi that was on top of the sushi. That was the best piece of sushi I've ever had in my life. And then they had like this wasabi, probably very high-end wasabi, that was literally so creamy and delicious. I can't even explain it better. Like it was just so freaking, like some of those dishes were like beyond anything I've ever experienced, but it was just maybe a couple of them. The rest were, like I said, a bit more mild, a little more like bland. Most of those dishes didn't give me that wow flavor factor. The dessert box, the little dessert with like a lot of mini different desserts, that was incredible. I liked almost every single one of those. We also took the sake pairing and shared it because I want to limit my alcohol intake since I'm optimizing my fertility and my health to the best of my ability. But also sharing the sake menu was like, it was enough for both of us. You got quite a lot out of it. And like I said, I am trying to keep my alcohol intake to a minimum. I barely ever drink unless it's for something really special, or in this case, it pairs well with the cuisine that you're eating. I really want to ensure that I'm getting the full cultural experience, especially when you do something so special and you're putting quite a lot of money into an experience like this. Then I want to experience it to the fullest. So I thought we'll share the sake pairing menu because you're gonna do this once unless you go to Japan. So like if I go to Japan, of course I'll do this again, probably. See if there's like maybe a difference or a comparison versus like what I tried here in Berlin. But yeah, if there's something new to try or it pairs well with the dishes, I'm not gonna say no to an experience and have a little bit of alcohol. Plus we were celebrating our 1-year engagement, and that doesn't happen very often in your life. During a once in a lifetime chance to try something, I'll do it. The sake pairing tasted great. I've never really been the biggest fan of sake in general. Maybe I just haven't tried amazing ones, but the ones we got, they were all like really great to try and all very fun, and they had like a variety of flavors, so that was quite exciting. My favorite one was the sparkling sake. So it was like a sake champagne, or they called it sparkling sake, but oh my god, it was like 20 euros for one glass. That's like 150 Danish kroner. I don't know the conversion to like pounds or US dollars, but that's quite a lot for just one glass of sparkling sake, but it was really, really good. I would highly recommend that. It's not going to be something I'm serving at my wedding, unfortunately, just because of the steep price range, but if I could, I would. Okay, so before I wrap this up, I wanted to show you guys, I picked up my new Whoop, the Whoop 5.0. So I've officially upgraded, or I will officially upgrade when I open this, which will be right after I'm done closing this out. So I'm really excited to see my new data points, and I'll dive into how I use it and if there's any differences or any cool upgrades later on. But yeah, I'm very excited to open this up and try it out. This isn't sponsored, obviously. I'm a very small channel right now, but this is just something I use in my everyday life to benefit my health and my fertility and keep a track on how I'm doing. I already rely on this daily to check my sleep score, to check my steps, and to see exactly how I'm recovering. It's literally my dashboard for my resting heart rate, my respiratory rate, and most importantly, my mission. So I track my cycle with this as well, or currently this one, obviously. Whether I'm tracking my zone 2 training or my steps or my heavy workouts, this device is keeping me in sync with my body as much as it can. So it's quite interesting, and I would highly recommend getting one because it's fun. It's fun to see your data and some stats on how you're living. Finally, I want to kind of circle back on something that I mentioned earlier. And as much as I love data and metrics as a way of understanding and navigating my health and fertility, I feel like there's something we don't talk enough about, how you can kind of link the idea of optimizing and focusing on your health and fertility with the combination of having a long-term, loyal, committed partnership. There's nothing more taxing on a woman's endocrine system than chronic stress. My personal belief is that when you have a loyal, committed partner, someone by your side, fully in your corner, who truly shows up and shares your vision for the future, your body can finally feel safe and fully ready to thrive. Looking at this from a biological standpoint, reducing that survival stress lowers your cortisol, and this allows your reproductive hormones to do their best work. Having a partner that prioritizes the family you're building isn't just a romantic win, that's a fertility win. Everything these days feels super rushed and super fragmented. Finding somebody who puts family first in your relationship, that's a superpower. We all deserve a love that provides the stability to grow. Thanks for watching my video and being part of my journey. Let's keep building and staying fertile AF.